Yep, that's right. Great and glorious tarot reader Nickdutch here at your service, providing you with more wisdom from the arcane book of thought that is the tarot. We're now touching the 10th card of the major arcana, which is the Wheel of Fortune, La Ronde de Fortune, within this particular Oswald Worth tarot. Just giving you a very brief glimpse as to the Wheel of Fortune card, so maybe you can get a feeling for some of the symbols in it. Is this card just talking about lady luck? Is it just talking about gambling? Is it just talking about risk? No. Again, there's much more to this card than meets the eye. Alright, the most powerful thing that we can say about this card is it's riddled with mercurial symbols. The snakes swirling around the staff in the middle, very similar to the symbol of medicine and healing. The creature on the right-hand side, the yellow and blue Sphinx-like creature, is carrying a staff of Hermes, again a sign of healing, a sign of wisdom, a sign of magic, a sign of knowledge and learning as he starts to ascend on the wheel. But on the other side, the contrary force is that of a devil-like character holding a trident, a torturous force which is hindering the yellow and blue Sphinx in his search towards the light. So there's always going to be something getting in your way. So there is a sense of the Greek character Sisyphus, I think his name was, who was perpetually pushing a boulder up a hill and couldn't quite get the result that he was after. And the reason he couldn't quite get the result he was after was, of course, the boulder carried on rolling down the hill. It's talking about trials and tribulations, strife, acting against forces, knowing that there's always someone who's going to disagree with you and try and get in your way and try and stop you from having the success that you require. And also the struggles of wisdom itself, when it's dealing with people of a profane or base nature. So this is like the struggle of intelligence or illuminated or educated being, dealing with the lack of understanding and lack of education of someone of a lesser quality, or maybe even trying to ascend to a higher level. So one can actually educate and illuminate the lower level humans on the rest of the world. To have a deeper look, we've got the wheel. The wheel is divided into 8 different sections. What's that talking about? That's talking about the wheel of the year. Within Wicca, there's the 8 festivals of the year: midsummer, midwinter, spring equinox, autumn equinox, Samhain and Beltane, Imbolc and Lammas, and those are pictured there also within the wheel. But the wheel also has 2 rings. There's a red ring and the blue ring, the inner and the outer, the same colors as the 2 opposing colors on the baton of the magician, pointing to, again, universal forces and the fact that there's always going to be contrast, opposition, and a tension between opposites, which is one of the things which seems to maintain universal stability of some sorts. So if one species gets really strong, another species will come and keep that one in check. So again, there's a sense of natural equilibrium. Alright, again, more mercurial and angelic symbols right at the top. We got the Sphinx with wings. What is a winged being? It's like an angelic being. But remember, what's the riddle of the Sphinx again? This is again talking about self-knowledge. So not only do we have the mercurial signs of knowledge, we've also got this Egyptian Sphinx-type theme pointing to the goal of the yellow and blue Sphinx as it's trying to creep up or trying to crawl up the ever-turning wheel of life. Always slightly out of reach, but there is a goal there. There is something which can be reached. But the fact is, that Sphinx at the top, right at the top above the wheel, is holding a sword. So what the blue and yellow Sphinx might actually reach when if the wheel slows down and the Sphinx can actually reach the upper levels, might not actually be pleasant. He might think he's going for to fulfill the promise of the staff of Hermes which he is holding, to fulfill the promise of learning, healing, wisdom. But what he might find when he gets to the end, or what might be the result of some of his tasks, might be something of a conflict nature, of a militaristic nature, or something of a dangerous nature, something which could actually cut him down in his prime, possibly even destroy him. Alright, so there's much more to this card than meets the eye. I mean, if we're just doing profane fortune telling, maybe I would just say this is to do with gambling and risk, because one supposes that the yellow and blue Sphinx talking about what is good for the individual, because like objective good and evil don't actually exist. You know, this is just what is good for the individual, what is good for the force that the yellow and blue Sphinx represents. Might not actually be good either for the yellow and blue Sphinx or for anything else. And the fact that we've got, you know, the serpents around the bottom of the staff there of 2 different colors, that's also repeating the same message. Where there is healing, there's always going to be some disease. Not just because healing comes because it's needed, but because somehow disease is somehow necessary. There's a message of acceptance of the way things are. You can't change everything, but somehow your struggle and your strife is necessary as part of the perpetual turning of life and turning of the universe. Very, very compelling. So it's not just a question of the Wheel of Fortune will give you luck. It's a question of the Wheel of Fortune might actually give you misfortune as you're going through the struggles for your daily life, through your career, through your learning, through everything that you're doing and the great and glorious tasks that you're trying to achieve. There is actually both hope as well as a depressing message there. It's incredibly powerful, very dynamic. You know, you can't help but feeling that there's something amazing about this. And the fact it's the 10th card of the tarot. And the number 10 is, of course, a 1 and a 0, which is numerologically reduced to number 1, is talking about a new beginning yet again. So the Wheel of Fortune is about perpetual new beginnings, and the fact that the struggle of life never comes to an end, no matter how much you would like it to, or you would wish it to, or perceive it to. Like, wow, man. Just, it really, you know, really excites me somehow.